Hello, Psych 100. This is Dr. Balhan. I wanted to take a brief amount of time today to talk about your upcoming assignment, which is a neuroscience study guide. So often students ask me for a study guide, and instead of me providing it to you, I think it's a great time to give you the opportunity to organize your own studying and practice some really effective strategies for learning these technical words. So the gist of this assignment is that you need to define 10 neuroscience terms that you find in the chapter. You need to put those in your own words. So this might be a bit challenging because these are technical terms, but I really encourage you to struggle, take on that challenge. In fact, it's so imperative that if you do copy, either from the internet or from the textbook, those definitions won't earn any points. So really make sure that you put them into your own words and practice making those terms meaningful for you in a way that you can understand. So that's the big kind of bulk of the assignment, is really just getting these terms in and getting some rehearsal and practice with them. However, we know that just rote memorization isn't the best way for you to learn anything. So I don't want you to just march through the chapter and try to memorize each bold term as it comes up. Instead, I would like you to organize these terms in meaningful clusters. So you're going to come up with a concept or concepts. Let's say you can't get all 10 in one concept. That will be fine. But you're going to come up with those concepts that actually organize or kind of cluster different neuroscience terms. And you'll explain that concept to me and tell me why you chose the concept and why you chose the format of your study guide. I'm going to stick with the concept piece for just a little bit more here as I scroll down. You'll see my example here. My concept is voluntary movement. So scattered throughout the entire neuroscience chapter, there's information about voluntary movement. We can find it when discussing neurotransmitters. We can find it as the chapter talks about the different divisions of the nervous system. We can find voluntary movement discussed again when we're looking at brain structures. So that's how I'm asking you to bring all those different terms together. You might find them scattered throughout the entire chapter, but they still cling to a related topic like voluntary movement. So you see my ideas here. So I've got, again, like I said, brain structures, the nervous system branch, neurotransmitters, and then I had to get maybe a bit creative and figure out, well, what are some other pieces that aren't so obviously related to voluntary movement, but do play a role. So I'm thinking contralateral control. That's a term that could maybe practice a few times so I really learn it. And you see a few of those other ones there. Okay, so that's how you're working the concept. And again, let's say you don't get all 10 to one concept. You can come up with a second concept that clings together, 3, 4, 5 more words. And then another part of this is for you to really explain your reasoning here. So you'll write one paragraph about how those all go together and why you chose them, because most likely you are going to be making decisions to include some terms and not others. So make sure that you're clear that you're choosing terms because you need more rehearsal and practice with them. You're choosing a term because you think it sounds really similar to another one and you need some discriminatory practice on these terms. So give me that reasoning behind it. And then finally, there's no one way to do the study guide. Some students might put their study guide in an outline form. So it'll just be a bunch of text with the words bolded and a paragraph, and that'll totally work. You can tell me that you have very organized notes. This is the way you march through your notes as you study in other classes. So that's why an outline made sense for you. Other students might be finding images to go with each one of the terms. So not only do you define the term in your own word, but you have a picture. Well, tell me why you chose that. Are you a visual learner? Do you see the term before you're able to put words to it? That works really well. Sometimes students actually take a picture of their notes and it's more like a web or a concept map, and I can see how they drew out how all these different terms cling together. They might have even drawn some images too. And then I still need that rationalization or justification for why that's a great format of a study guide for you. So I hope this helps explain our first mini assignment, which again is the Neuroscience Study Guide. If you have questions, always feel free to either message me through Canvas or email me through my school account. And I'll be looking forward to reading your study guides. Thanks so much.